So, roughly 2 weeks ago, I flew all the way to Paris for Cycling Day, a launch event for PCM 25 hosted by Cyanide Studios, the developers. During that trip, I interviewed Clemon, the game designer of PCM 25 himself. So, Clemon, we've met a few times before, once on this YouTube channel already. I know who you are, but some people watching this video might not know who you are. So, what is your role within Cyanide Studios?
Hi Benji, I'm working for Cyanide, for Pro Cycling Manager, and I'm the game designer. So basically all the stuff of the game conception, not on the technical side, but I work with developer and artist. So I'm quite in the middle of the project for that. And my role is not only to find the ideas. I mean, it's a very, very small part of the thing of my job, but more how you can implement the ideas in the game and make it work.
And to make a good Pro Cycling Manager game, you have to have some knowledge on cycling. So, question for you, how invested are you in the sport of cycling outside of Pro Cycling Manager?
I would say cycling is in my blood. Since a long time. I started cycling when I was 16, directly in...
We can see it.
Yes, but now I ride a bit less, but still. I was riding for a local team in junior, and I enjoyed directly.
But your potential was too low.
Yes, sure. I had no potential to become a professional rider, but I mean, I enjoyed directly all the stuff around training, nutrition. I love cycling. My wife also, my kids, we are a family of cyclists, I would say.
So you've got your family of cycling. Is Cyanide Studios also a family of cycling? How important is Pro Cycling Manager for the company of Cyanide Studios?
Very important. It's also in the DNA of the studio because Patrick, the president, is also a cyclist himself. We have a few guys within Cyanide who rides their bike and they enjoy that. But there are also people in Cyanide who does not care about cycling. It's not only a cyclist, but it's quite a part of Cyanide.
It's not part of the job description, but if you are a cycling fan, it's probably a good addition. But talking about developers in the company and people that work on Pro Cycling Manager, how many people would you say actively work on Pro Cycling Manager throughout a year?
I would say between 12 and 15 in the core team. And some of them, they share their time between Pro Cycling Manager and Tour de France.
Is that full-time, or is that this part of the season you work on Pro Cycling Manager, then on a different game?
For the 12 to 15 full-time.
And what does the development process of a game like Pro Cycling Manager look like? When are the brainstorm sessions throughout the year? When do you move into development? When does the beta testing start, and where are we now in that process?
I would say that things changed a lot since 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. Now it's earlier. I would say the summer is a starting point for brainstorm. June, July, August for game designers and some of the team. And other guys in the team are working on inter-project things, technical things. During the summer, it's more brainstorm and starting the project. And after, when we are in September or October, it's really the start of the dev.
And now we're in the beta testing phase?
Yes, we started the beta, I think, a few days ago. And it's very important part of the development, because now every developers are on the bug fix. Hopefully we can still add some small features in the last sprint of the month of May, but it will depend on bug fix, obviously.
But now let's talk about features, because lots of people want to hear, they've heard already, what the new features are for Pro Cycling Manager 2025, and the flagship feature is the brand new Unreal Engine 5 game engine. Sure. And it is a major change for the game, because let's be honest about it, it's been the same game engine for maybe 12 years?
I would say more 14 years.
Whew, that's a long time. And I've heard rumors of Cyanide looking for a new game engine since 2018, 2019, stuff like that. How long and difficult was the process of changing to Unreal Engine 5?
It was chaotic at the beginning, really finding the right engine, game engine. But the more we advanced and the better it was. I think in the last 2 years, when we knew that it was Unreal Engine, then the project really advanced very fast.
That's also a part of the next question, maybe, because Unreal Engine 5 is a third-party game engine, so a different company makes Unreal Engine 5, so you depend on someone else, really. Yeah. What are the benefits of that?
Lots of benefits. First, you can have developers with a higher motivation, because it seems weird, but when you work on Unreal Engine for tech developers, it's really a cool thing. And there are a lot of people with experience on Unreal Engine. Then you have also plugins, external plugins that you can buy that can fit your game, and that's what we did with some of plugins. And I see only benefits. Maybe there is a cost for that, but I don't know the cost of that. I'm not in the business part of the things, but for developers, for us, it's pure. It's only good because also we have common things now with Tour de France, and since then it's really easier because we can share a lot of things, stop to lose time for duplicate things, and on short term we are already winners, but on the long term we will have only good things for that to share assets and same technology as a Tour de France.
On the short term, you've already got improvements. We notice in the game right now, in PCM 2025, in the trailers and the gameplay videos that do exist, that the graphics of environments look better, etc. The rider designs and avatars have not been changed yet. Is that then one of the things that can be improved in the future, or when you say long term, do you mean other things?
No, totally. Cyclist is a top priority for the. I don't know if it's next year or in 2 years. I don't have yet the planning, but cyclist. I mean animations, textures. We can do way better with the new engine. Also all the weather things, you know, we have the new rain effects, but I think we can go way further than that, and in the future we have a lot of potential for improvement.
Now let's get to some drama, shall we? We've got some spicy questions coming up.
Ouch.
The Pro Cycling Manager player base is quite unique. You've got on one end gamers that have good setups, that have good computers, that can definitely play the new Pro Cycling Manager game. But on the other end, I'd argue that a notable amount of players of PCM are playing on a student laptop, on a computer that is not that great. Is it possible that PCM 2025 becoming higher in graphics might lead to some of the audience disappearing?
I think, yes, some of the players will not be able to play anymore if they have, let's say, a low-end configuration. I fear that, and I have the same problem at home with Tour de France because my kid is playing Tour de France, but the next one will be only on PlayStation 5, and I don't have the PlayStation 5 yet, so myself too. I think it's part of the evolution. At one point we have to evolve, and it costs a lot if you want to keep to improve the engine, and you still want to optimize to keep the low base. It was not possible.
Now, we've spoken a lot about the game engine. It is the flagship feature. Did the process of transitioning to Unreal Engine 5 take away from being able to work on other features?
I would say for graphical team, yes. Last year we already knew that they had a lot of stuff to be able to be ready for this year, and clearly it was not a question to think about a new cyclist or things like that. So in this case, yes, but for the main team of features, game systems, no, except the time you can lose because you work on a new engine, so it's not the same thing. I mean, there are new bugs, but for I would say 90%.
So not for career features, for example.
No, for career features, developers are separated from the engine team. Yes.
Okay, let's talk about career features. Sponsor system. Last year, PCM 2024, the sponsor system was renewed, revamped. I was pretty critical about it feeling incomplete or losing some features, like, for example, being able to have your sponsor say, I want this dude from Denmark, and that was in PCM 2023, was gone in 2024. That is coming back in 2025, but it's now differently. Back then, it was part of having a sponsor. But now it seems like it's part of the recruitment process of a sponsor. So before you sign with a sponsor?
Yes, that's the point. To be honest, I think the last year system was not good, and that's probably why we were not happy with that, and we wanted to change directly to evolve. I think it was mandatory to assess those points. We took all the points, the bad feedbacks. We tried to think about new system, and one of them was the nationality thing, and to take care to make it better than the old system back in 2023.
Now, one feature I really like is that, for example, at the end of the year, you can figure out, okay, my team is Decathlon AG2R. I've got two sponsors, Decathlon and AG2R. And now you can switch those around. How does that impact the budget of the team if you switch AG2R to the main sponsor and Decathlon to the second sponsor? Does it switch their budget around, or?
It switches their budget, but to be frank, if the second sponsor is a big sponsor, it won't change a lot. But sometimes if you have a small size sponsor, you cannot switch them because it will not give enough money due to a maximum because of his size. So you have to take care of that.
I also want to talk about the other feature, which is basically the whole settings of the game have been revamped and are now not necessarily general settings across the game, but settings across each save file. Why has that step been made in PCM 2025, and does that open opportunities for the future?
I think this was an important evolution. First, one of the mid-term goal for us is to make the game more easy for newcomers. We lacked parameters, possibility for the game, game difficulty, and the game was clearly too hard for newcomers. So first things was we want to add difficulty options. I think it was nonsense to have only option for the whole game. So now it's for each game you have proper options, and the idea for this year, but also for the future, is to add more customization for the player.
3 years ago we met, we recorded the same interview in 2022, and you said you're always thinking a few editions ahead in Pro Cycling Manager. Where would you like to see Pro Cycling Manager in 5 to 10 years? 10's a long time, but let's say 5.
Yes, more. I would say 3 to 5. I would like to have more personalities for cyclists.
I love that.
I think it's really one of our goal. We are thinking since few years about that, and now I think it's time to go in this direction. Also, the staff thing around cyclists, and probably one last thing, transfer revamp is. I won't give dates. I mean, I don't know if it's next year or in 2 years, but on short term we have to make a new transfer system because it's important. It's core of the game, and players are also asking for that, and I think they are right.
The personality traits for riders, I'm a big fan of that. I can think of one immediately. For example, currently in the game, I don't feel like there's any value in signing an old rider and having a leadership personality trait that does something for the morale around the rider in the race. That sounds like a fun personality trait. Women's cycling.
Yes.
Do you see a timeline in which women's cycling could enter Pro Cycling Manager?
It's a topic we have. Myself, I really want that. It's not that easy for technical things. I would say between there are some chance that one day sooner or later, but I would prefer sooner.
Is not back, so I'll ask my final question as well. Why is Pro Cycling Manager not on macOS?
Technical complication. I think the old engine it was clearly not possible.
Yeah.
It's a bit deceptive, but I don't know if the Unreal Engine will help or not.
Yeah.
Sure, it will not just be very easy, but I have no no timeline to, and I compromise. For women cycling, I would say there are strong chances that we add that. For Mac,
not so
I
strong.
would not put my hand
in the fire. Anyway, that's all the questions from me. That's my interview for today. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Benji.
I'll see you in 3 years.
Always a pleasure. No, before 3 years this time.
Anyway, I'd love to get your thoughts on Pro Cycling Manager 25 and this interview in the comment section below. By the way, I want to give a massive thank you for Clemon for making time for this interview, but next year I want some more time. I'd like to do a 1-hour interview about PCM 26 because I've got so much more questions to ask. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.